Okay, today we're going to talk about going over the review. I'm going to work all the answers so that you know what's going on. I highly suggest that you write this down because there's a high possibility you'll get to use it on the test tomorrow. So here we go. Number 1 says write in standard form, meaning we're going to go from highest degree to lowest degree. So we're going to do negative 8x to the 5th. Then we're going to say plus 5x cubed minus 9x squared plus 2x. Alright? Then it says to classify it by degree and number of terms. So this is a 5th term, so it's quintic. And it has 4 terms, so it's a polynomial of 4 terms. Okay, if you just wrote 4 terms, that would be fine too. Okay, the next one says to create a cubic trinomial in standard form with the following characteristics. So you're going to use the characteristics to write a polynomial. It says the leading coefficient, meaning the coefficient on the first term, is 3. So it's going to be an x cubed, because it says right here cubic. The linear term has a coefficient that is negative, meaning that we have a negative x, because that's a linear term. It has an exponent of 1. And the constant is 7, so then I would say plus 7, and I'm done. Okay? Now these next ones, hopefully you will bring your notes tomorrow so that you have your notes over all this stuff, but basically it's the same thing we've been doing in class. So first we want to say the degree of this function. So the degree, there's 2 x's right here and 1 more, that makes 3, and it's cubic because of that, so we know the shape's going to look something like this, and it's negative, so actually it's going to go down. So that means it's going to start at positive infinity and go to negative infinity. So my left end behavior goes to positive infinity, my right end behavior goes to negative infinity. Okay, the zeros, you change the signs of the numbers in the parentheses. So it's going to be x equals 2 and x equals negative 1. Now multiplicity, I've figured out another way to say it, is it's the exponent on that x. So if this x is being squared, the multiplicity of that x is 2. Since this exponent is 1, the multiplicity is 1. And all that really tells us is what happens at those zeros. So we're going to have a 0 at negative 1 and a 0 at 2. So I'm going to put a dot there and a dot here. So since 2 is the one that is repeated, meaning it's going to bounce there, I know I'm going to have to cross through negative 1, come back up to 2, and then bounce back down. Which makes sense because we said that our function should be from going to positive infinity and ending at negative infinity. Okay? So number 4, we have 1 and 3, that's 4, plus 1 more is 5 x's. So it's a degree of 5, so it's odd. And it's positive, so it's going to look something like this. Okay? So again, my left end behavior is going to negative infinity, my right end behavior is going to positive infinity. Okay, the 0, same thing, you change the signs of the numbers in the parentheses. So I get x equals 4, negative 1, and negative 3. Then the multiplicity is the exponent on the x value. So in the case of 4, it's just a 1. X plus 1, the exponent would be a 3, right? Because when we multiply that out, it should have an x cubed, so that's 3. And the multiplicity here would be 1. Now, the other way to figure this out and make sure you did the multiplicity right is when you add up the multiplicity, it should equal your degree. So 3 plus 1 is 4, plus 1 more is 5, so my degree matches my multiplicity, which means I did it correctly. Alright, then I'm going to graph it. Negative 1, negative 3, 4 would be out here somewhere. Dot, dot, dot. We said this one is positive, so it should start down. It's going to cross at all 3 points because they're all odd multiplicities. So it should go up, come back through, and go up again. Okay, so this would keep going like this. Alright? Again, I did a video over those kinds of problems, so if you haven't watched that one yet, go watch that one too. Alright, multiplying. Multiplying is just foiling. Remember, you FOIL the first two together, then you multiply by the second one. So I would have x squared plus x minus 3x minus 3. Then combine the terms in the middle, so I have x squared minus 2x minus 3, and that's my final trinomial. Then I'm going to multiply it by the last term. So I get x cubed minus 2x squared minus 3x minus x squared plus 2x plus 3. Okay, then you combine like terms. So x squared with x squared, so I get x cubed minus 3x squared. X's with x's, negative 3 plus 2 is negative x, and then plus 3. That's all you have to do for those. Alright, number 6, same thing, but first you have to write out the thing that's being squared. Okay, so I'm foiling these two together, that's a 2. Alright, so x times x is x squared, then I have plus 2x plus 4. Combine the terms in the middle, and then I have x squared plus 4x plus 4, and then I'm multiplying by what's left, x minus 3. So I get x cubed plus 4x squared plus 4x minus 3x squared minus 12x minus 12. Okay, then combine like terms. So I have x cubed, x squared minus 3x squared would be plus x squared. 4x minus 12x would be minus 8x, and then minus 12. Okay? Next problem is long division. So we practiced this more in class today, so hopefully it makes a little bit more sense. But this is how you do it. So I do x plus 2 divided into x cubed plus 12x squared plus 36x plus 32. And I'm totally going to run out of space. So I'm going to write over this and I'll figure that out. Okay, here we go. So you knock the first term down by a degree and take the coefficient. So x squared. So then I get x cubed plus 2x squared. Subtract, subtract. Don't forget to subtract the second one. Those cancel. I get 12 minus 2 is 10x squared plus 36x. So then I would do plus 10x because I need to get this to 10x squared, which would be 10x squared plus 20x. Subtract, subtract. So I get 16x plus 32. So I would do plus 16. So I get 16x plus 32. Subtract, subtract. My remainder is 0. So my answer that I would write in the blank would be x squared plus 10x plus 16. And I would say yes, it's a factor because the remainder became 0. Okay? Now I'm going to erase that so I can do the second one. Erase what I wrote over. Maybe. Oh, here we go. Alright, so whenever you do it, if you get a 0 as a remainder, that means it is a factor. If you get a number, any number, doesn't matter what kind of number, other than 0, then it is not a factor. Okay, so let's do the second one. So x plus 1 into x to the 4th plus, now I'm missing my cube term, so I've got to do 0x cubed plus 3x squared plus x minus 3. Don't forget that if you're missing your term, you have to put a placeholder in. So then this is going to be x cubed, so I get x to the 4th plus x cubed. Subtract, subtract, I get negative x cubed plus 3x squared. So I'm going to multiply by minus x squared because I need a negative. So negative x cubed minus x squared. Change the signs. I get 4x squared plus x. So it's going to be plus 4x. 4x squared plus 4x. Subtract, subtract. So I'm going to come over here. Negative 3x minus 3. So I'm going to put minus 3. So I get negative 3x minus 3. Subtract, subtract. I'm just going to change the sign. My thing is 0. My answer in the blank would be x cubed minus x squared plus 4x minus 3. And the answer would be yes, it's a factor. Okay? Again, if you don't remember how to do all that, look at the video. Alright, next problem, solving logs. You remember, you always want to get the log by itself. So I'm going to subtract 4 to start. I'm going to go ahead and condense in the middle just so I have less things to write. Because it's being added, they've multiplied. Equals 6, divide by 3. So log base 6 of 3x is equal to 2. So then you do your switch. So I get 6 squared is equal to 3x. So 36 equals 3x. Divide by 3, divide by 3. X equals 12. Alright, same over here. You're going to combine first. So log of 8x is equal to log 64. When they are equal, that's when you can drop the logarithm. So 8x is equal to 64, so x equals 8. Okay, the next two you're just expanding or condensing. So you're going to have 4 log base 2x as division, so minus 2 log base 2y. Okay, same for condensing. It's subtraction, so it's division. So log base 7 of x squared over y cubed. So remember, these numbers come back to being exponents. Okay? And I believe that's all of our problems, right? So make sure that you know how to do all of those problems. If you need to, rewatch this video for the ones that you do not know how to do. The test is very similar to this review, so hopefully you will make a 100, and I will see you tomorrow.